Donald Trump went in front of the New York Attorney General to answer questions related to her investigation into him relating to his business practices and possible issues there, we'll say. And it's just kind of funny because he pled the fifth, and while you have that right, you can do that, whatever. It's hilarious because he's someone who so publicly railed against people in the past, pleading the fifth. So first we'll just read about this, and then we'll look at some clips of him. It's kind of just calling him out for hypocrisy, even though of course you don't have to. You can plead the fifth if you would like to, and that's definitely within your rights. So I'm not making some proclamation that no one should ever do that. It is just funny since he's taken such a strong stance on this in the past. But quickly, former President Donald Trump invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination Wednesday and refused to provide answers under questioning in New York Attorney General Letitia James's probe of his business practices. Mr. Trump arrived at the New York Attorney General's office shortly before 9 a.m. in a multi-vehicle motorcade. The New York civil fraud investigation involves allegations that his company, the Trump Organization, misstated the value of assets like golf courses and skyscrapers, misleading lenders and tax authorities over the years. Mr. Trump said he invoked his constitutional right against self-incrimination because he was facing a renegade and out-of-control prosecutor. Okay, so with that in mind, now let's watch this. This is what Trump has to say about people pleading the fifth.
The mob takes the fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
When you have your staff taking the Fifth Amendment, taking the fifth so they're not prosecuted, when you have the man that set up the illegal server taking the fifth, I think it's disgraceful.
Have you seen what's going on in front of Congress? Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. Horrible. Horrible.
It's like the Oracle of Delphi there, Evan.
So he said the mob takes the fifth, and he's talked about in the past, as you saw there, but he definitely believes it's a sign of guilt to plead the fifth. Again, I'll say another time, I'm not trying to violate anyone's rights. You're allowed to, but it can, based on the investigation, come off as a little slippery, a little guilty, but it shouldn't. I think it doesn't have to. You can just be afraid that you could be caught in a corner and accidentally say something that you didn't mean. I don't know. But point is, Trump has made it very clear that he thinks that's a sign of guilt, and now he's having to do it, which is really fascinating. And I do think if he were to answer questions, that probably would put him in a worse position, because I think his business practices were fishy enough where if he had to answer specific questions, he would be in that debacle where he's either going to have to say something he knows puts him in the wrong position or lie about it. And either way, you're not looking good. So interesting moment. Not the most important thing in the world, but funny to watch someone get kind of owned by themselves, we'll say.